Our southern border, of course, is flooded with illegal immigrants entering the U.S. every single day. Joining us now to discuss the politics of migration and more on the conservative Latino movement is the founder of Lexit, that is Latino Exiting the Left, Jesse Holguin. Jesse, it's great to have you with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on, Bianca, and it's great to try giving Latinos a voice.
Absolutely. Well, you're Mexican-American, as am I, and we know that your group specifically has the aim at fighting socialism in our country. When you see that illegal immigrants from Cuba sent back so quickly, so swiftly, do you think you can correlate it, Jesse, with them being here and fleeing communism, knowing how bad it is something that our administration fears?
Exactly, because Cubans, as everybody knows, those are like the highest rate of Latinos that usually tend to vote conservative because they know firsthand the devastating effects of communism, socialism. So isn't it a coincidence that the ones that tend to vote conservative, those are the ones that but the Biden administration doesn't want over here. But like you said, they could just come over the southern border. It's just never-ending open borders over there coming through. They have no problem with those, but they have a problem with the Cubans that are coming because they tend to vote conservative. That's like
right.
Democrats. They don't care about immigrants. They don't care about Latinos. It's all about power. It's all just about votes for them.
And you're really boots on the ground. You have an incredible story. You're a former gang member, and I want to share with the viewers that you were injured. You've been paralyzed because of what happened to you on the streets, but you've been invited to the White House. You've really turned yourself around. Jesse, tell us about what you're seeing with Latinos like yourself who used to be Democrats.
So many. We get messages, and because I live over here in LA, liberal LA, California. So I talk to so many Latinos all the time, and we're just fed up. Like, that's why you're seeing that Latinos are 50% for Republicans now, because we're waking up, because far too long, the Democrats have been using race as like a carrot, like, look, race, everything, race, and not on the policies. And that's what we keep telling Latinos to vote your godly moral values, vote the issues, because most Latinos are conservative. They just don't know it. But now they're waking up. They're seeing that the fake media and, like I said, the racism, they bamboozled them, saying that Trump was racist and against them and all of this. And now they're seeing the reality when they're going to the supermarket, when they're putting gas, and when they're being locked down, pushing lockdowns. So they're seeing the devastating effects of the
Jesse,
Democrat policy.
We want to get your reaction to this. This is a grant. $30 million, the Biden White House is going to fund the distribution of crack pipes to drug addicts, and they say it's to advance racial equity. They're actually putting out these smoking kits. Some cities already have them, like Portland. As someone who counsels people who are addicted to drugs, what do you think about that move? And isn't it more of a setback for Latinos and minorities trying to get ahead?
Exactly. When I first seen it, I thought it was a joke. I don't know where the Biden administration is getting their advice from. Maybe Hunter Biden is giving them their advice. But to me, it's just a total shows the insanity of the Democrat Party. Like you said, I grew up in that lifestyle. So I used to even do drugs, and I was around people. So I know firsthand the devastating effects. They're just even to whole families, even kids growing up with their parents on drugs. I've seen people that overdosed, all of that. So what's next? Are they going to offer to give them crack too next? That's going to be next on their agenda. Like, it's totally insanity. That's like a person wanting to commit suicide, and yet we enable them by giving them the bullets. I mean, they have the gun and all that, but then we enable them to give them the bullets to commit suicide. It's just totally insanity, and it just shows how out of touch and, frankly, how nuts the Democrat Party. They're not even, like I said, they're not even the same party as 5 years ago. They're just totally left-wing, way out. Like, I'm ashamed to say I was ever a Democrat,
Jesse,
at this point.
Because you
total
have
joke.
Yeah, and because you have this experience of being in a gang, getting out of a gang, there's so much concern about young people today falling through the cracks and what the pandemic has done to kids who weren't in school. Globally, we know a lot of cartels have used this as a way to recruit kids. But are you worried about these children who have been out of school, who've fallen behind now and don't have any hope, and perhaps could be susceptible to getting into a gang?
Yeah, because so many are depressed and everything. This is supposed to be like the the greatest time in their lives for young people. You know what I mean? Everybody being in sports, hanging out with your friends, going to dances, and just all that kind of stuff. So it's having a devastating effect for the kids and emotions. And also the gangs are right there just recruiting terribly. Like, yes, it is very bad. And not only that, all the drugs coming over through the border and all of that, that's the main supplier to all the gangs.
Jesse, we're out of time, but there's so much more we can talk about. I know with the fentanyl coming across the border, we know you have a lot of inside stories here and people that you've helped. Lexit is the group you've founded. You're being shadow banned on Instagram. I could not tag you today in a post. I know you know that, but your message is still getting out. Jesse Holmgren, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on. God bless you.
God bless you. Still ahead today, we have a bit more on